Hi, thank you for coming to the talk. My name is Yi-Chun CHEN. I'm the curator of the exhibition. The idea of the title, She Says Her Story, is about female gaze. Women can open up a different viewpoint and the consciousness to female life. In the 1930s, the term woman artist in the bedroom was used to define female artists in Taiwan. The subjects of their paintings were about family scene in bedroom, living room, garden. The objects that draw are such as girl, woman, kids, flowers. Even though the paintings are very beautiful and elegant, but it also shows that the role of woman must be family-oriented. In the 1980 to 1990, the female consciousness was invoked. Women artists tried to break the limitation and work hard to get a chance. In 1975, female artist Jui-Hung showed her paintings in the subject of banana. It caused a huge controversy and dispute because the shape of banana is as simple as male's penis in Taiwan. In 1980s, women artists are influenced by the women's movement and the feminism. They try hard to break the male-dominated society. Ye Minghui is one of the feminism artists. I-Chun CHEN is the first female sculptor, won the Great Prize in the competition of Chinese contemporary sculpture in Taipei, 1986. She created large-scale paintings and sculpture as same as male artists. In 2000, Taiwan Women's Art Association was established to provide support for female artists. In recent years, female artists gradually are joining the socially engaged art and the cross-discipline cooperation. In 1998, Wu Ma-Li held the first socially engaged art project in Taiwan, Play Clothes Workshop. In the workshop, women learned from each other and understood the basic concept of mutual respect between people and gender equality. In 2016, Wu Ma-Li was awarded National Award for Art in Taiwan. She is the first female artist since 1997. Above is the brief introduction of Taiwan women artist development. In this exhibition, 6 female artists of different ages and different identity are invited. They explore and create the story of their grandmothers, mothers, girlfriends, and self by different materials. The materials they use from the traditional Chinese paintings, woodcut printing, fiber weaving to the kinetic light box installation. Wen-Jen DENG, when she found out that she is an Taiwanese plant aboriginist, she began to do the research of her tribe. She began climb high mountains of ancient road to feel the spirit of ancestors. She began the subject of Taiwanese historical events, aboriginal culture, and the ethnic integration issue. Ping Yu Pan explored different dimensions of a family story with family dishes. She recalled her mother's recipe by video interview, soft sculptures, and installation. The family recipe series is her emotional connection with her mother. Ya-Lan YU showed her love to her mother in the work Madame Zhang. During the process of creation, Ya-Lan YU reviewed all the photos of her mother. She seeks impressions and the memories of mother and tried to remember her activity when she was still alive, and it is the way to memorize. I-Chun CHEN tried to find the story of her grandmother, Mong Qi, on Google Map, and Wikipedia. It is a sad story about a girl abandoned by a rich and powerful big family. The name Mong Qi means raising children casually in Taiwanese. The saying bed, chair refer to the woman being confined in the family. Woman must abide by the family arrangement and cannot violate. Jui-Hung NI borrows 7 fairies from Chinese myths and combines the image of female career development with a colorful light box. Her work shows the young generation's attitude toward women's role and lifestyles. Yi-Hsin TZENG used traditional Chinese Oriental scroll landscape paintings to describe her journey with her companion. They went to the national park along Highway 15 in the U.S. West, allow viewers to participate in their private memories. I feel that women always deeply integrate their emotion in the creative and the research process. In the process of creation, they devoted themselves into the story with love. They show compassion when they observe. Watch their works. You can feel not only the dedicated observation ability, meticulous creative skills, also abundant emotion. They are not only tell the story, but also respond to the life of the subject and the landscape. Thank you again for coming to the talk.
Hi, I'm Ping Yupan, currently live and work in Taipei. I have working on family recipes project for more than 6 years. This vocabulary recipe has at least 3 different components and meaning: the ingredients, the indication for making, and maybe something about healing. My family recipes project is intended to talk about the family stories, cuisine, culture, and the message of healing. One of my family recipe project I did in 2006 is an installation for beef noodle soup, because I think this dish is represented some history in Taiwan. It is about how different people gather here and how we created wonderful fusion cuisine here. I also did a pile of dumpling like pillows, squeezing into a luggage. It tells a kind of affection how we attach to some food from our family. Tiger Mom's recipe is an installation to pay homage to my mom's passion and love to our family and cuisine, how she found her recipes, and also implied how she gave me influences in my life. The key ingredients was inspired by some movies like Babette's Feast or Like Water for Chocolate, and among the others. It suggests the audience to think about what is the most important ingredient in cuisine, and not accidentally, the answer is love. With a round table with a red cloth, displayed with many little sculptures resembling food or ingredients, which prompt us to ask just what is the shape and the flavor of love, if it has shape and flavor. Hope you all enjoy my work. Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is I-Chun from Taiwan.
I want to introduce these three words in this exhibition about my grandma, Wang Shi. I tried to find the scenery near Wang Shi's hometown on Google Maps. Maybe which is the road she used to travel. I also searched for the related ancient photos on the internet. Those who met Wang Shi once detected her life moments and closing tasks, especially in the era of Japanese occupation. Wang Shi also lives in the memory of the elite family. There are many stories about Wang Shi families on Wikipedia. The historical data of many family members is also somewhat different from the story that Wang Shi used to tell. Those are the vague memories of her old age. I reinterpreted the photo because of trying to get a picture of the family from the internet, simulated her youthful appearance and daily life. These may all be wrong landscapes, ridiculous family combined character traits, misplaced clothing collocations, Wang Shi vague memory, and death without proof. This theory seems to be right, and it seems that the wrong collage becomes something unspeakable. The absurdity is also becoming a regret for Wang Shi's life. Until her death after many years, I found the name that Wang Shi often missed during her lifetime. This is the key to help her find her family. Of course, Wikipedia also shows that these celebrities are no longer alive, and their descendants are several generations after illustrious identity label. It was decided that only a weak choice would get up the truth. This heavyweight family abandoned the story of the woman, and their image said it was like as if the real life were a lie.
Hello everyone, my name is Deng Wen-Jen. I was born in Hualien, eastern of Taiwan, living and working in Taichung. I'm a fiber artist and I use traditional techniques such as nature dyeing, embroidery, tapestry, weaving. I also use the recycled fabrics to create soft sculpture and installation art. In the past few years, I have been interested in the Aborigines of Taiwan and the issue of island ethnic integration. Because my mother's family is Pingpu, they are immigrants from Southern, and my grandfather is from Western. My native family has documented the immigration history of the Pingpu and Hakka in Taiwan. While looking for roots, I began to create some artwork. I want to talk about Taiwan's historical events and also oral story. There are two types of media I use now, which are presented in diptych form. The first type is the combination of indigo dyeing and embroidery, including cross-stitch. When I start to work, I read a lot of books or historical documents. Then I draw a sketch on my drawing book. After that, I prepare the material. First of all, I sew the gunny bag tightly, then dye it with indigo. After that, I embroider the pattern on it by myself. I like to use gunny bags to make maps because they have wealth of story. The most common grain are coffee beans. Maybe they come from Africa. The second type of my work is tapestry. In addition to linen and cotton wire, I also use recycled fabrics, which I cut into strips and then weave. I think to use the recycled fabrics is an action to reduce the waste of resources and promote environmental awareness. The theme is based on Aboriginal myths or legends. The Taiwan expedition included the rover incident and the Mudan incident, which took place at Kending. Describe the story of scholars dead hunting. This big event has highlighted Taiwan's important strategic position in the history of the world.
Hi, I'm Yi-Hsin. The work I present in the exhibition is titled Western Coast Diary. It's about a private memory, documents a journey from Taipei to California. And first of all, I would like to talk about the theme of my art making. The theme of my artwork usually focus on identity, faith, and sexuality. As I mentioned earlier, I am a hypersensitive person. Therefore, I'm easily influenced by elements surrounding me. For example, I was interested in the cover of fashion magazine and the commercial images when I was in New York City. It was the starting point for me to cover the figures' faces. I also enjoyed reading the pornography on the streets when I was visiting Paris. It was the time I began to doodle females' bodies. In the past 10 years, I defaced the faces of celebrities, singers, superstars, political figures, and the porn girls. And this time, I defaced myself and also some significant person in my memory. You will find more work on my website if you are interested in. Secondly, I would like to talk about the work, the journey, the diary of Western Coast. I came from a traditional training background, focusing on painting and drawing. It's why I see myself as a lawyer painter, even though I apply multiple mediums for art making. When I was 12, I was sent to learn Chinese painting and calligraphy without any reason. I have to admit, I was not crazy about that. However, I really enjoy the way read Chinese painting on paper scroll because I can feel I walk with the paintings. I was immersed by the painting, and I also following the storyline with the character in that paintings. In the philosophy of Chinese painting, there is no need to be exactly the same with the real world. They care more about how the painters feel in their minds. Therefore, we can see how figures and the mountains they stand together out of proportion. We also can see landscape from different perspectives or angles in one painting. The Diary of Western Coast is about a journey happening in 2014. Miss Circle and the Triangle had their trip to California. They rented a car, driving along the highway, following the map, visiting Las Vegas, church, lake, and also national parks. This was a clip from my memory. It was so private that I have to quote them with English sentence and wrote and presented in Chinese characters. So, for Taiwanese people, they can understand these characters, but they don't really know the meaning unless they read it loudly. And for the people who don't really understand Chinese character or even Mandarin Chinese, you still can read the story through the images because my writing and the painting, they talk to each other. You can feel, you can observe their relationship, their development, all along with the process of reading the painting. For me, this opportunity is very special because the whole journey happened in California a long time ago. Since that, I did not have the chance visiting the States again, and I'm really glad my artwork can return back its birthplace and talk to different audience on its own. Therefore, I would like to invite you guys to walk into the painting and have a little talk, a chat with Miss Circle and the Triangle. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Jui-Hung NI from Taiwan. Because I cannot be an exhibition, so I'm here to introducing my work with these videos. And did you see the 7 light box on the wall? This is my work. And do you see the rolling? And you see the 7 beautiful women? You know who they are. So I'm going to introduce you what's the story behind it. And they are the 7 gardeners. In Chinese, we will say they are fairies. They are 仙女. Why 仙女? Because they are the ideal woman. They are the most perfect woman. Because they are not human beings. They will never grow old and then never be ugly. They always beauty. And they will give you everything you want if you ask them. So they are the real gardeners. And I feel like those gardeners, because in the back of the time, if a woman they have problems for their life, they will go to the 7 Chinese temple to ask them for help. They will help you to find a good marriage, or to have a baby, or have a beauty look, or your middle skill. You know those things for women back in time. And people still go to temple asking Xianyu for help. But right now, I think people also go to Instagram or Facebook to asking those huge followers women to help. So I'm kind of playing this idea. I take those gardeners into the internet world to see what the real Xianyu looks like in Instagram or Facebook or any social media. So I'm going to introduce every fairy you can see on the wall. That's the first yellow one. You see what does she hold? Oh, she still wear the traditional fairy costume, but she's holding an emergency light. Is lead you to maybe a right way to your life, I don't know, but the emergency light. And it's a second orange fairy. She represents cooking skills. So if you want to become a good woman, you should worship her for your cooking skills. She will help you. And that's the green fairy. She represents beauty. So if you want to have a beautiful look, you can ask him. The green fairies can help. Can tell what's she doing. Actually, she's doing the tea whitening. It was kind of like she's doing some kind of creepy searching, plastic searching. And that's the fairy represent you can traveling around, because in the traditional traveling is not a very functional, because women cannot go outside. So I think for the modern woman, they need to travel. So this fairy, if you can worship her if you want to travel around. Actually, she's one of the flight attendants in Instagram account I can follow. And the purple fairy, she represents making money. So if you want to have a big money, you can worship her. So look, she just win the prize. And then the blue fairy, she's a real model, famous model in Taiwan actually, and she's just sharing the idea for all Taiwan. Like if you go to running, you can get away from your depression and everything. Your life will be changed. So she's giving us a positive energy in Taiwan. So I think, okay, she can become one of my fairies. And to the last one fairy, she represents your love life. How miserable is your love life? Look, the man doesn't want to touch the woman. And she's dressing the wedding dress, but she looks very tired. You can see her face expression. Okay, that's the work I'm showing this time. Actually, the light box, the formula comes from the Buddha machine. You know the Buddha machine? You probably will not know, but it's a plain Buddha machine music. It makes you house peaceful. And I want to make it fun with those folk religions culture in Taiwan. So this is one of my five. Thanks for everyone. I'm Yi-Hsin. This is my work. Hope you like.
Hi, I'm Ya-Lan. This series Madame Zheng includes 100 works. My mother passed away in 2015. I finished this series to reminisce her next year. I drew my mother's faces based on her photos when she was alive. Every stroke has led me to look for her silhouette in my memory again and again. It is my intention that other people's faces are made black, since no matter whether I was there in the photos or not, she has already left us, separated from those who are still living in reality. These photos capture the happy moments of her friends and family, but they are all blurred and obscure except for the contours of my mother. She cannot interact with the rest, just like how these beautiful memories are brought to a rest at certain moments in the river of time. This is a paper lithography series which uses photocopies as plates to print images on paper. It features a flowing quality with markers of transience. Starting with portraying and moving on to printing. During this process, I seek for impressions and memories that are related with my mother, trying to remember her the way she was when she was still alive.